You ready to record a podcast?
As ready as I'll ever be.
Then let's record a podcast.
All right.
Bands you've heard of.
Hello and welcome to Bands You've Never Heard of. I'm your host, JR.
And I'm your other host, Gary.
And I am so excited. I'm so excited every week for this show, every time. And the part I'm most excited about tonight is the reveal. I had some fun with the last one. I'm going to have some fun with this one. And it's all at your expense.
It's always at my expense.
I'd first...
And I wouldn't have it any other way.
I'd first like to tease you.
Ooh, tease me, big boy.
I know you're a big fan of the Foo Fighters. There is a legit Foo Fighters connection with this band.
Ooh.
I know, right?
There you are.
This band that we'll be talking to tonight, they took an unusual path to getting their song into a movie. Their first ever song they created together is featured in a movie. Yeah. The members of this band are also actors. They have played on stage at the House of Blues. And there is a female in this band. And as a young musician, she was into piano and violin. And when she was like 12, she got to play on stage with Diana Krall in jazz. Do you know who Diana Krall is?
Yes.
Right.
Yes, I've
good.
heard,
So,
yeah.
so that's a big name, and she was honored. So she's had some success.
Wow.
Yeah. And
they're on our podcast.
they're going to be on our podcast. Not only are they going to be on our podcast, they reached out to us.
Ooh.
Yeah. So
You gotta love those things.
I know.
You gotta love that.
right? And the craziest part about this, and my favorite part of this reveal that is happening as we speak, is the video that I'm about to show you. It's a TikTok. Do you follow Patrick Hicks on TikTok? Does that name ring a bell?
It's not, but then again, a couple of the people I follow that I'll see them, they'll come up on my, I'll get an alert and it'll go, oh, it's such and such. And I'm like, oh,
So you don't recognize him by his name.
No.
You might see, if we have anywhere near the same algorithm, then you've seen his videos. He is a bald guy with a beard and glasses, kind of a nerdy dude. And his TikTok series is where he tells the origin story of a famous band. And he does it.
I haven't seen him yet.
No? Okay. Well, the thing he does is he tells you the origin story, but he leaves out any details early on in the story that would identify the band too soon. So you got to get like 2/3 or 3/4 of the way through his video before you're like, oh, that's who he's talking about. Unless you happen to know the origin story of the band he's telling you about, then you'll figure it out much sooner. The band we're featuring tonight was in one of his videos. It's crazy.
Holy crap.
It's crazy what's about to happen. And the timing of when his video came up on my TikTok was literally within days of this band and their management reaching out to us to be on this show. Now, I'm going to play for you that TikTok video, and that is how we will introduce you to the band. And I want you to raise your hand, and maybe I'll stop the TikTok video when you figure out what is going on here. Okay? That's the deal. And we're about to start. Are you ready?
As ready as I never was.
Here we go.
In 1998, the Los Angeles radio station Kiss FM started a festival called Wango Tango. In its early years, it featured some of the biggest names in pop music: Mariah Carey, Britney Spears, NSYNC, the Backstreet Boys. But in 2003, they did something very strange. They offered a slot on the festival to a local band that they would choose via an audition. And the act they chose was an unknown band who had never even played outside of their own garage. The lead guitarist and sometimes vocalist of this band was named Anna Coleman. She was born in the mid-1980s and grew up in Los Angeles and had an idyllic childhood until she was 12 years old and her father passed away. After her father's death, Anna started getting more and more into music. She picked up her dad's old red Telecaster and started playing. Her mom paid for her guitar lessons, and Anna started getting really into the indie and garage bands that were popular in the early 2000s. The Hives, the Vines, the Yeah Yeah Yeahs. Although she didn't like the White Stripes, she thought they should have a bass player. She also liked older stuff, the Breeders, the Ramones, although she did have some blind spots. She was really familiar with the Rolling Stones, but didn't know who Stevie Nicks of Fleetwood Mac was. And she had a soft spot for Britney Spears. She loved the original Baby One More Time and the cover by Bowling for Soup. And in high school, she put all these influences together into a band that she started with her two best friends, Maddie and Peg. There was also a drummer and a bass player. The band practiced in Anna's family garage, and they started getting really good. They still hadn't gotten out of the garage band phase when they heard of this audition for Wango Tango. At first, the band didn't make the audition, but they were the first alternates, and the night before the audition, another band dropped out. Anna and her band were going to get an amazing opportunity. There was just one problem. Anna's widowed mother was about to get remarried. The wedding was in 2 days, and the rehearsal dinner was the night before, and it was happening at the same time as the Wango Tango showcase. Anna's mother told her that she couldn't miss the rehearsal dinner, and it looked like the band was going to blow their shot. But luckily, the showcase was taking place at the House of Blues, and it was just down the street from where the rehearsal dinner was. So Maddie and Peg showed up, they brought Anna to the audition, and the band was able to take the stage. Anna was nervous before she went on stage. She said, I don't think I can do this. But her friends reassured her. They told her, we'll still love you even if it blows. But when they took the stage, it seemed like Anna was right. It seemed like she'd forgotten how to play her instrument. The band was playing a song called Take Me Away, a cover of a song by an Australian band called Lash. Anna strummed a few discordant chords, but basically stood there frozen like a deer in headlights. But then, all of a sudden, a blistering solo started erupting. Audience cheered, but it was very clear to anyone watching that Anna was not the one playing the solo. But that didn't seem to matter to the audience. Everybody loved the band, and they were told afterwards that even though it was a little early, it seemed like they had gotten in. But what Anna's bandmates didn't know, and what nobody in the audience could have known, is that the reason it looked like Anna didn't know how to play guitar is because that wasn't really Anna up there. The night before, Anna and her mother had actually switched bodies. So up on the stage, the girl that looked like Anna was really her mother, Tess. And who was shredding that sick guitar solo? It was actually Anna's mom, Tess, backstage. Well, it was Anna, but in Tess's body. Luckily, nobody seemed to notice or question anything too much. Anna and Tess made it back to the rehearsal dinner, and by both of them displaying acts of selfless love, they switched back into the correct bodies. The next day, Tess got married, and Anna and her band, Pink Slip, played the wedding. Now, you would think the story of Pink Slip, this unknown garage band who played Wango Tango, would make them stars. But unfortunately, Anna decided to give up her dreams of being a professional musician to become a single mother, which she told her daughter she didn't regret. She even wrote a beautiful love song for her, and she did end up being a successful music producer. And over 20 years after their big Wango Tango showcase, Pink Slip reunited for a show at the Wiltern. Annie was there, Maddie was there, Peg was there, and the bass player and the drummer.
Figured it out yet, Gary?
Well, that was the one of the Body Switch movies with
That's right.
um
That movie was called Freaky Friday.
Freaky Friday, that's it. Yeah.
And not the 1976 version featuring Barbara Harris as the mom and Jodie Foster as the daughter. Not that Freaky Friday.
No, with
The 2003 version featuring Jamie Lee Curtis as the mom and Lindsay Lohan as the daughter.
Lohan, that's it. Yeah.
Yes. I want to start by assuring you we will not be speaking with either Jamie Lee Curtis or Lindsay Lohan tonight.
Okay.
That's not what's happening. But what is happening, we will be speaking with someone you did see in that video.
Oh.
So the movie Freaky Friday came out in 2003. There was a sequel in 2025, just last year, called Freakier Friday.
Yeah.
And
still with Jamie Lee Curtis and
with Jamie Lee Curtis and Lindsay Lohan, and all of the actors that played in Pink Slip, the fictional band in that movie, came back and reprised their roles, especially an actress named Hayley Hudson, who looks like this now. And she played Peg in the movie. Peg was in the band Pink Slip. Peg was a friend of Lindsay Lohan's. So not just a band member on stage who has an acting credit, an actual actor. She auditioned for the role of Lindsay Lohan's friend Peg, who is also in Lindsay Lohan's band Pink Slip in the movie.
Right.
And this was her first acting role after she had already played violin and piano with Diana Krall on stage and all of that. This is years later. She got the role in Freaky Friday. And when they did the sequel, Freakier Friday, they brought the band back, including Peg and Daniel Rubin, also in the band. And they, during rehearsals for the movie, were hanging out underneath the stage, writing songs, playing music together, just jamming and enjoying being a fictional band together. However, they wrote real songs. And the first real song they wrote, they suggested to the producers of Freakier Friday, hey, here's a song we created. And they were like, well, that's pretty cool. Do some more. And that song is in Freakier Friday.
Freakier Friday.
That's how they got their first song in the movie. And so that is the path to a band now known as Hudson Rubin. Two of the members of Pink Slip have formed this band and are making real original music. And they are certainly talking about how they originated as a thing from Pink Slip, but they're not Pink Slip. They're not Lindsay Lohan. They are their own separate new independent band featuring the actress slash multi-instrumentalist slash incredible singer Hayley Hudson and her friend Daniel Rubin. I mentioned earlier that there's a Foo Fighters connection. The Foo Fighters connection is that Daniel Rubin is the brother of
Rick Rubin.
No, no relation to Rick Rubin.
No, okay.
No, the connection to the Foo Fighters is that Daniel Rubin's brother is Ilian Rubin. Does that name ring a bell for you yet?
No.
This guy right here, he was the drummer for Nine Inch Nails. He is now the drummer for the Foo Fighters.
Oh, he's the new. Yeah, I have not. The new drummer was pretty low. You know, that was a pretty low on the
yeah,
blast furnace because of how much went down with the last one.
Yep. And so Josh Freese is out. He's actually with Nine Inch Nails now.
So they just swapped.
They did kind of swap. There's videos you can find where they try to debunk the rumor that there was an official swap. It just kind of worked out that way.
I mean, they're trying to be like the NBA or whatever,
right? Where they swap, or the MLB, where they swap dudes that while they're on base running in the middle of the game, they trade them to another team. So that's not exactly what happened here, but it is basically the end result is that they have swapped bands. And this is important because Ilian Rubin has played drums on one of the songs we're going to listen to tonight. So he's played drums with his brother in his brother's new band, Hudson Rubin.
Wow.
How cool is that?
It's pretty darn cool.
So I got an email saying, hey, new band, Hudson Rubin, Pink Slip Connection, Freaky Friday, Freakier Friday. Would you have them on your show? And I was not putting any of this together, just even reading the very well-worded, forthright email that explained it all. It didn't click to me what was going on until I had seen that TikTok. And I'm like, wait, that's the band I've been emailed about, kind of. And that TikTok came out, of course, on April 1st. That is not his normal thing. This was his April Fool's joke. But it was right around that time I got this email saying, hey, you want to feature Hudson Rubin on your show? And when I realized all of that, I responded immediately, yes, of course I want to feature Hudson Rubin on my show. They are awesome. And so let's go check out Hudson Rubin. I did that right away and found they have some music, and it's got hardly any plays on Spotify. 8,000 is the most played song of theirs on Spotify. It's called Mistakes, and that is where we're going to start with the first song from Hudson Rubin called Mistakes.
Your door, you can always stick around.
There you go, Gary. That's Mistakes by Hudson Rubin, your first taste of the original music to come out of two members from Pink Slip, from Freakier and Freaky Friday. Your thoughts, my friend?
Oh, I'm in love, man. That is, it reminds me of some of my favorite new wave and post wave music from Holland, the Italians, and one of my favorite bands of all time is Glassoline. Is just it's smooth, but just drive. Of course, great guitar tone, driving. I do like that bass line of just pummeling. It's just jackhammer bass. I mean, between the four and the floor kick and the jackhammer bass, man, you got nowhere to go but forward. So I am a huge fan.
It
already.
rocks. It freaking rocks.
So that's why I compared them to two of my favorite 80s 90s bands.
Awesome. Well, let's see here. What is their bio on Spotify? It's short, it's sweet. It's the short version of everything I just told you. It's a spin-off of the fictional band Pink Slip from the popular film Freaky Friday and Freakier Friday, featuring lead singer Hayley Hudson. So that's their whole bio. Here's their YouTube channel, and we're going to listen to another song. As you can see, they've got some videos. Some of them are just visualizers, and some of them are lyric videos, but there's at least one or two that is an official video, and that's where we're going to start. So this is Gray Love by Hudson Rubin. All right, Gary, your thoughts on Gray Love by Hudson Rubin?
Still like the first one the best because it's the drive, but this one definitely shows their depth. The video was absolutely beautiful. I don't think that was a DIY video. I really
I don't think so either.
something tells me that was not, far from it. No, these guys are obviously a few steps ahead of our typical band that we're doing with all the DIY and all that.
Yeah.
Um, does she or does she not remind you of Rooney Mara?
Oh, yes. I can see that.
Okay, good.
Yep. The girl with the dragon tattoo.
Hmm.
Yeah. I could totally see that.
And
Also,
especially in the video, that video for sure.
Anne Hathaway also comes to
A
mind.
little bit, yeah.
Yep.
With her hair down.
When she was in Freakier Friday, she played a character named Peg. This is her bio picture on IMDb. And it is a picture of her as Peg from Freaky Friday. She played kind of an emo goth girl in the movie. And she kind of has that emo goth girl appearance now, right? Like a little bit in that video, I thought. But she's a little bit more bubbly than that. I have seen her in some interviews. And the interview I watched, it was kind of painful to watch. I'm not going to mention the YouTube channel it was on. I'm not trying to knock anybody here, but they were clearly Freaky Friday fans. This 35-ish-year-old guy was like clearly a Freaky Friday fan and a Freakier Friday fan, and he was fanboying all over her. We're going to come at our interview with Hayley and Danny later in this episode, and we will not be fanboying Freaky Friday at them because I haven't seen either movie. Have you?
No, I've heard a lot about it.
Yeah.
But no.
I'm coming at this from the music standpoint. Like they have clearly had some advantages that other bands don't have, partly from living in LA. I don't know who their family members are, if they're connected in any sort of way or what. I have double checked. The Rubin brothers are not related to Rick Rubin. They simply have the same last name. But I don't know about Hayley's family and connections. I know she had to audition for her role in Freaky Friday. So,
Oh, right. There is a couple of famous Hudsons.
there might be some Hudsons out there that have, yeah, and maybe I
As
don't
in
know.
rock, as in
Famous Hudsons. Let's see what we get. Academy Award-winning actress
Kate Hudson. That's it.
Yep.
She's definitely not Jennifer Hudson's
No.
sister.
Jennifer Hudson, Rock Hudson, explorer Henry Hudson. What do we got else here on Google? Oh yeah, Slash's name is Saul Hudson. I forgot about that.
Right, yeah. That could be it could get a little thick in here.
Yeah, there's definitely many other Hudsons. So I don't know. I haven't dug deep enough to find that connection if it is there. And I am not in any way trying to imply that because she's maybe has a family connection to a famous person that's why she's got any kind of credibility here. No, her acting clearly
Well,
stands up. She's
The,
been
the
in.
thing is, if she did, they would not be on our show.
Right. So thank you. That's where I'm sort of weaving back to here. Despite all of these advantages that they may or may not have had, some they definitely did have. The connection to two pretty famous movies with big, huge movie stars in them.
Yeah.
That's a huge connection. And they are clearly mentioning that when they try to promote themselves or have their management and PR team promote them. But explain to me why that song Mistakes, the first one I played for you, has only been played 8,000 times.
I know, that's crazy. How long has it been out?
In addition to all those great connections, it's a great song on top of all of that.
Oh, I know.
Are you interested in their discography? Let's go back to the very beginning. It's not around long. I mean, this movie came out last year in 2025.
Right.
And so did the first song, Hey, Hey, What You Say. Mistakes came after that. So these all released in 2025.
Okay. But they've had, at least a half a year.
Yes. And they're being picked up by all of the Freaky Friday fanboys. So, or at least some of them. So I can't explain it. The music is good enough. That's kind of the point I was trying to get to, was the music is good enough on its own. If I had discovered this band with zero connection to any movie, there's a really good chance that I would have been like, okay, that's a great song. That's a great song. That's a great song. This band looks and sounds great. So yeah, let me reach out to them. Let me go see if they have a website. You know, we would have started the same thing I do for all of the bands we feature on this show. They would have been a contender even without any of the Freaky Fridays.
Even if they hadn't called us, but it took less time.
Right.
At the end of the day, too, they called us, which is kind of crazy. It's kind of awesome.
All right, Gary. So that's enough about their story, I think. And I am willing to play any and all, maybe not all, of these songs. And I can go back to their YouTube so you can see which ones have either visualizers or lyric videos. And let's check out more of what Hudson Rubin has to offer. So here's what's available on their YouTube, and I will let you choose. We've already listened to Mistakes and Gray Love. In addition to those songs on their YouTube channel, we've got Hideaway, You Don't Care, Hey Hey What You Say, and Serpent. Your choice.
Ooh, I'm thinking, hey, hey, what you say?
I'm so glad you said that. That's what I was hoping you would say. And here is Hey Hey What You Say by Hudson Rubin. That's Hey Hey What You Say by Hudson Rubin, the band you've never heard of that we are featuring on this episode of Bands You've Never Heard of. That was the video, which wasn't much of a video. It was just like cartoon horses and stuff. The song.
And
that was really,
Hearts.
and Hearts, yes. So your thoughts on that song, Gary?
I don't know. I want to find out who they're basing this on, because this is like the best 80s takeaway from 80s girl groups, or that is not, that's not just, they're not just like going, nah, here it is, here's the Go-Go's and here's the Bananarama, but they're like hitting the waitress. That one had some waitresses vibes to it, as well as some Holly and the Italian Stills. So different, and just different, and yet some of the guitar part was almost like Romeo Void. It's like they're taking all the stuff that happened way before they were ever alive, and unless they are way older than we think they are, which is possible, because I'm a terrible judge at that. But actually, yeah. When did the original Freaky Friday come out?
2003.
Oh yeah, they're not.
And this is Hayley Hudson's IMDb page. Born in 1986.
Yeah, so she was born. She was born after a lot of this happened. That of the music that she is emulating, or not emulating, but channeling.
She'll be turning 40 this month, or next 2 months, in June of 2026.
Please don't remind me.
But yeah, no, I agree. I was thinking that song absolutely should and will appeal to the younger crowd, and probably even aimed, certainly with the motif of the video, aimed at the female population.
But also people my age who grew up with those bands that, you're going to have to sneak it in on a lot of them, because they're really not going to think outside of the box at all. But if they heard it, they're like, oh man, they immediately go, I remember that from 1987, 1984. That was one of my favorite songs. Well, no, it wasn't. They just, they weren't even alive, that kind of thing. It's absolutely perfect. And I love it.
Well, we're going to do one more song with you, Gary.
Right.
And according to one of the interviews, I was just sort of showing it on my screen there, they acknowledged that a lot of the songs, the ones we've heard so far, are aimed at the younger people, probably, and will appeal more to younger people. But this song, at the time they were about to release it, it's out now. It's called Taime, and has more mature themes in it. This is Taime by Hudson Rubin.
Strain, I see friends and light through a smoky haze in the chasms of night. Sirens, you can't see your fire, dragging through the grass to blazing twilight. Bad ones engendered your ears will vanish in the blink of a needle's eye. You feel truth reaching out in the breeze, just quiet, sings you a lover. By the way, I think I know what you can't walk away. What your good love always turns to gray. Why thoughts would creep up, leading you astray, and why the night won't turn into the daily fret chipping at your brain. You can slip away, but you can't stop your pain. Outside, feel the acid rain racing through your head like a speeding freight train. Stuff fast, you'll find it to lie. Your white ash falling from a crystal sky. You think you can bury your fate. A part of you lives while the other half dies. Accepting all your fears, you feel it through your tears. The wrong you think you know, take shelter as it grows. Dissecting all your fears, you feel it through your tears. The wrong you think you know, take shelter as it grows. Daily friendship and in your brain, you can slip away, but you can't stop your pain. Outside, feel the acid rain racing through your head like a speeding freight train. Surface, you find it to lie. Your white ash falling from a crystal star. You
spelled Taime by Hudson Rubin. Your thoughts on that song, Gary?
I'm scoring that as Tori Amos meets Paramore.
Okay, I could see that.
I like that, and then I started going, what's our headline? What's our bands? What's our grouping? You know, since we started talking about
You
throwing
mean,
shows,
what other bands that we have featured would you bill these guys with?
yeah, oh, I definitely Joan Smith and Jane Doe's.
Oh, yeah, good
that would be
call.
perfect. Possibly the anti-groupies because of the 80s throwback pop, pop punk sound, but these guys aren't pop punk enough, and I would rather keep the anti-groupies with some of the other ones that we've gotten. So I'm having a little bit of an issue with the third one, although the Hush Down is probably
Oh yeah,
going to be the third for the three band bill. I think that would be a
I would put them on a bill with Hook, which was that band that we couldn't interview because they disbanded right about the same time we were trying to feature them.
But there's no use in putting Hook on the bill.
I
Because
know
they can't
that's what I
play
said,
it.
but musically speaking, I think they would have been a good matchup.
Yeah. But band existing speaking,
We're
They're
sticking
right
with
out.
bands that actually exist. Okay,
Yeah.
fine. So
it would be as if we were putting Pink Slip. Well, we could put Pink Slip on with
Hook.
with Hook.
Perfect. So that's the band we're featuring on this episode of Bands You've Never Heard of. If you've been listening to this show, good for you. Thank you so much for being here, for listening. Please write reviews, rate us 5 stars, tell your friends. Oh, and maybe go watch the show, because we also do this with video. So you could have been seeing Hayley Hudson. You would have seen the TikTok. You would have seen Gary and me as we talk about these bands. And coming up in just a few minutes, you will get to see Hudson Rubin as we interview them live over Zoom. We are super excited to be bringing them in for the second half of this show. That's where we're headed next. And as long as we're here, is there? Should we play another little bit of some song before to transition us from part one to part two of the
Absolutely.
song?
We should transition while I go and transition real quick.
Cool. You go do your thing, Gary. We'll be back in just a few minutes with Hudson
right.
Rubin.
Come to the back of the hideaway, like what you see when you look my way. Everybody says that you feel the same. You won't go all in, but you play the game, and you said you're better on your own, 'cause it's the only thing you've known. Into my open hands you've flown, but I guess you're better on your own. You hold up your guard as I step inside. Your tormented past is beat on your eyes. If you could feel the baggage I hide, I've suffered the same, but my tears have dried. And you said you're better on your own, 'cause it's the only thing you've known. Into my open hands you've flown, but I guess you're better on your own. Come to the back of the highway, like what you see when you look my way. Everybody says that you feel the same. You won't go all in, but you play the game, and you said you're better on your 'cause it's the only thing you've known. Into my open hands you flown, but I guess you're better on your own. Better on your own, 'cause it's the only thing you've known. Into my open hands you flown, but I guess you're better on your own.
Hi, Hayley. How are you?
Oh, good. How about you guys?
I am fantastic. Do we
Yeah.
do we think Danny will be joining us as well?
He should be here, but he's not here.
Not yet. No, he did accept the Zoom invitation, but I haven't
Okay.
seen him.
Well, he should show up. How are you guys doing?
We're doing fantastic. We've spent the
Good.
last hour talking about you and your music, so
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
we're excited to talk to you about
yeah,
you
you
and
too.
your music.
There's
Here's
Danny.
Reuben Daniel.
Reuben Daniel.
Right on.
Now what it says?
Yes, it says Reuben Daniel.
It does.
There we
Reuben
go, full
Daniel.
screen.
Reuben
Sorry.
Daniel. Okay.
Nice. Well, welcome, Hayley. Welcome, Daniel, or is it Danny?
Danny, Daniel, either works. It's fine.
Excellent. So I'm JR. This is Gary, the two hosts of the podcast Bands You've Never Heard of. We're also guessing this is a podcast you've never heard of.
Okay.
Yeah, you assume correctly, but
Okay,
you know,
good.
there's always room for a great podcast. So
Excellent.
add it to
And
the-
ours too, I'm sure.
So let me explain what's been going on. We were telling Hayley just a moment ago before you joined in, but I discovered you when your PR person Jennifer reached out and said, "Hey, would you feature Hayley Hudson Rubin on your podcast?" And so I
Okay.
started checking into it. And the basic premise of our show, typically, I have gone out to find bands, digging deep to find bands that have very few plays of any of their songs on Spotify or YouTube or anything like that, so that we can then sort of discover them. I find them, I research them, and I share what I found with Gary. And then we record that as the first half of our show, is me revealing the new artist to Gary, who responds in real time with genuine musical knowledge about guitar chords and stuff that I don't understand.
Okay.
And so we get some musical insight, some reactions, and basically he becomes your newest fan. So like officially right now, he is your newest fan.
You can also feel free to roast it. I mean, you don't even have to like, just have fun and
Every now and then we find things to pick apart, but for the most part, we don't feature bands on the show that we don't love.
Okay.
Yeah.
oh, okay. Thanks. Yeah.
We're gonna get picked apart.
It's not a thing of this is not a critical podcast. This is not, something that where we pick when I pick things apart, it's because, oh my God, they did this. And I wonder if, did they go to Berkeley, or did they, what's going on here in the background? Because this is not something that normal, that normal just sit down and write a song musicians think about. So.
Interestingly enough, I tried out for Berkeley with the guy who with Chris Krallberg, who played in Pink Slip, our Freaky Friday super band, and we went and we auditioned together for that.
Oh wow.
And we both got in. He ended up going. I ended up staying back in San Diego and going a different route. But we both auditioned and went to go to Berkeley, and I didn't, end up doing it, but he did, and ended up earning a degree and lives up in Bend now, and we all reunited on the movie. So, yeah, the Berkeley reference just kind of brought me to that moment. 2008. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So we've been talking about for the last hour the whole Freaky Friday Pink Slip thing. So I'm hoping you are thankful that we don't have to like revisit that whole origin story here, because our audience will have been listening to us talk about it for the last hour.
Oh, really cool.
Okay.
I think we're more interested because neither Gary nor I are coming at this at an angle of being huge Freaky Friday fans. Neither of us have seen either movie. We certainly are aware of their existence. It's hard to not know who Lindsay Lohan and Jamie Lee Curtis are.
Yeah.
But that's not the angle we're coming from. We're coming at this from well, if I had just found you guys, the normal way I find bands, I would be featuring you on this show. Your music is that good. It's awesome.
Oh,
It rocks. You got a great voice. Gary's picking up on the bass lines and stuff. I mean, we just loved it. And
oh,
so
Yeah.
we'd be featuring you anyway. And we would be wondering, why isn't this band a household name yet? Now you're relatively young as a band, so that's certainly a part of it. But in reality, you have some advantages that other bands don't have, and as far as getting your name out there. And uh, so that let's talk about that. Why are you at this time a band
On our show.
people have never heard of, most people, and what are we doing about that?
yeah. I think a lot of that might just be because social media seems to be how new bands and new artists are found, I think, these days, and there's so much content being put out there all the time. That might be one reason. We haven't done any live shows yet. That could be another reason. So we are planning to do live shows pretty soon to start doing that. So um, who knows? Maybe both of those things.
Yeah, because that brings
Yeah.
us to one of our fantasy projects.
Mhm.
Is a band you've never heard of, a tour of different genres that
Oh.
we've worked with. And so with every show, this happened a couple of months ago. We were just chatting on while driving, and we started going, well, this band would go great with that band, and because we've done everything from Americana and straight up country to some fairly experimental rock and roll. We haven't done jazz, well, actually we touched on jazz just last week. It's not out yet, but we haven't really done classical jazz and stuff like that. So we've kept it in the rock vein, but the genres are so divergent that we've actually set up there. He runs the show. I just come along because he asked me to. So, but putting these fantastical shows together, and
These are
immediately-
basically our dream shows, right? Like
Yeah.
nobody even knows about these bands yet. They're the bands we want you to have a double or triple bill with that we have featured on the show. We have some bands in mind, and if you're looking to book a tour, we could put you in touch with bands we think you would be a good
that you would go
double.
great with. That
Oh, okay.
This is a really interesting idea, I have to say, for a podcast. I laud this because, one of these bands, if they ever do some, whatever, go to the next step, or this podcast will be, and you'll be, the coolest people ever, for having been the ones to give them a chance.
I am so happy you said it because then I don't have to say it.
Yeah,
This
I know.
episode.
I caught on, and I've been looking at his background too, and it's all awesome. So,
Oh, thank you.
it's really nice, the idea of just celebrating whatever. You happen to hear somebody and you're like, I like this for the music. There's no hype behind it. I just discovered it. And it's kind of like discovering a new show that nobody knows about. And you left it, humor your music. So it's an interesting idea. I like it. Yeah.
It's like that line from the Cake song that you bought the T-shirt that proves you were there, that you heard of them first, right? Like I get that feeling every time I play new bands, new music for Gary, and hopefully our audience. And yeah, we are super excited about any of our bands that might break big, where they're now going to have people Googling them, and maybe they find our show, and maybe they listen to that episode and then another episode, and all of the bands we're featuring on the show get a little bit more exposure. That is the dream. It has not fully happened yet. So the fact that anybody are reaching out to us to feature bands tells us
somebody has heard of us.
and what you just said echoes what we feel that we're doing with this show. So I am glad that it resonates with you quite well. So can we talk about the music, your music specifically?
Sure.
Oh, okay, good. Yes.
I think she thought that was a rhetorical question.
Yeah.
Right. No.
It's like it's simultaneously both. It's like, let's talk about it now, and it's rhetorical.
So you two alone are the driving force behind what is now Hudson Rubin, correct?
Yeah,
We're the founding members. Yeah.
Are there others in the band yet?
There
Or
will
is that-
be.
There will be, not yet.
There will be. We've collaborated with some people. We collaborated with Danny's brothers, who are both musicians and producers. His brother Elon is the drummer in Foo Fighters, and he was previously with Nine Inch Nails. And he collaborated with us on a few songs. And their other brother Aaron, we worked with as well. And we worked with another drummer, Clint Disharoon, who's wonderful. And my cousin Sean worked with us on a song too. He's a musician as well. He actually plays Tom Petty in a Tom Petty tribute band called So Petty. He's
So
pretty
so
awesome. Yeah,
petty. That's
the fans
fantastic.
love
That's
him.
great.
Yeah.
I'm not even on the song she's referencing. She's like, "Can you mix this or do something to it?" And I listen to it, and there's like
Yeah.
nothing to do to it. It's very simple. Just make the guitar, the acoustic. Make sure you could hear the fingers on the fretboard and her voice, and that's it.
Hmm.
So it's you
Yeah.
two that's responsible for both the lyrical songwriting as well as the music, right? And are you both multi-instrumentalists? And how do you decide who's playing what on these songs?
Um, um, so the way the first two songs happened was bass, drums, guitar. That's what I would do. And the first two songs were sending bass drums, things that I thought were a song that I just hear like, okay, this is a verse, and then it would go into this part for a chorus. So I sent it to Hayley. And then as time has gone on, she will send me now ideas with her voice, like multiple layers of harmonies or keyboards. And sometimes I don't know if you're playing guitar or you have a keyboard that sounds like a guitar with some of the ideas that you send me. Like I
Yeah, I've done some keyboard stuff. I don't think
you
I've
have a keyboard
recorded,
sound that sounds like a guitar though.
well, I've done some keyboards on
Yeah.
recording, but I don't think I've recorded any guitar so far on any songs, right?
It's very much like a division of labor kind of thing.
Yeah.
And that's I'll do the music and she'll usually do vocals over it, but the last four songs she's pretty much written them, and I've just kind of done what like I guess a bass player, drummer, guitar player in the band would do and kind of rounded out the instruments. And like some I'll just leave completely alone. The song Hideaway, the acoustic song, there was just nothing to really do to it in my estimation. And I was just like, the guitar sounds beautiful, her voice sounds beautiful, and just make it, sound as good as you can. And then, since I'm a novice at mixing stuff, I'm learning with every mix, what I've got to do on the next one to get it better, because this is not anything I've ever really done before.
Mhm.
And I usually just play in bands. So, but if I were to say now, it would just be me music, her vocals. That's probably the division of labor. Yeah.
Yeah, we write them, we write the songs together, most
Yeah.
of them. Yeah.
But so that actually leads right into my question of the
Mhm.
production. So you're producing everything. This is all DIY uh, for the music and everything. Uh, the one song, what was it on Hey Hey?
Uh-huh.
Uh, I was the voice. Are you filtering the voice there in the middle because it takes on an otherworldly thing? I thought for at first I was like, is Danny singing this part? Is he's doing this, or because it takes on that, and then I could hear her come in toward the end, but that was just how'd you get that effect? How'd you
So it's pretty funny. You're talking about one of the four songs that my brother Aaron mixed for us. So there's he's just has a certain way of mixing vocals, and wanted certain performances from her that would create certain echoes in that bridge, or just give it some kind of a different I don't know, different palette or
oh,
paintbrush
I
to
definitely
sound
had a
different.
different palette. I mean, that was
Yeah. And he just made it sound the way he does. He's a really great mixer.
Mhm.
We gave him a demo, and then basically he just returned to us a much better product than we handed in. It was very much like, yeah, but this is what we recorded, and he fixed some stuff, and then actually he had me redo a bunch of stuff. He's like, we could get better. He's like, we could do a better guitar sound and a better bass sound. I was like, why don't you just tell me we're going to redo the whole thing? And then he kind of like basically programmed the drums. Right? Yeah, so he kind of it is really a lot of his production on that one.
Mhm.
But I told Haley I want to post our demos too, because we got our demos to a certain point
Mhm.
and they sound different from the finished products. But so Aaron had a lot to do with Hey Hey Hey. He really transformed it. A song called Serpent that he really helped us with, and I
Mhm.
love the demo to that one too. So we got to post those demos because they're pretty cool. And
Mhm.
yeah.
but
And
so
from
anyways,
from
Aaron,
whatever I go
yeah,
ahead.
sorry.
Mhm.
Yeah, he's all about like, I don't know, whatever the filters he uses. He's into plugins, but he just has this idea of how the song will sound at the end. I know that he knows it, and he was
Hmm.
chasing whatever that was. That's why he had me redo those things. And
Well, he nailed it for
yeah, he's
sure.
really good. Yeah,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
Hayley sounds awesome on it. And she
Um,
actually wrote that bridge
Hmm.
completely. We didn't have that bridge originally. Then Hayley returned it to us, and I love that bridge. Yeah, it's really cool. She's like, yeah, thank you. And then over text, there's a million notes that she has for it. But right now, she's like, yeah,
And
totally.
are you guys just sending stuff back and forth through like voice
It,
memos on iPhones?
it's
we
it's
do a lot of that, yeah. Yeah.
it's insane. One time, she had sent me a track that may have been 3 days prior, and I was scrolling and scrolling and scrolling, and I'm like, "Is how much we've talked in 3 days?
Yeah.
It's nuts." I'm like, "Yeah." So we text a lot, and there's nobody I text with more in the
Yeah.
world, and we barely ever see each other.
So
Well,
So
yeah,
we've
this is
only
all,
done we've done like 4 songs in the studio, right? And
I
then the rest of them I've done my
yeah,
vocals at home, right? Yeah.
everything else has been done, yeah, DIY at home on DAWs.
Yeah, we just send things back and forth for most stuff, yeah.
Yeah,
wow, that's incredible. It
Wow.
sounds way more cohesive than that.
interesting.
I would not have guessed it was done that remotely.
Mhm.
Oh yeah, yeah. No, it's definitely remotely. She tracks her own vocals and just sends me everything dry. I was taught that by my brother. He's like, have her send everything DI, and so she does her vocals. And then I've learned a little bit from like seeing him do his thing and just trying my best to figure out
Yeah.
how to make sure that I don't, get in the way. But yeah, it's a lot of sending tracks back and forth and texting back and forth.
Wow.
Yeah.
And so, and your brother Ilion, Haley, you said he actually played drums on one of your songs. Was this when he was already a Foo Fighter, or before he became a Foo Fighter?
No, this
Uh,
was before this. He was still with Nine Inch Nails then, right?
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So, yeah, he did one of the drum tracks on You Don't Care. That was Ilan playing. And we did 2 songs with him in the studio, which were Mistakes, which was the one that was on the Freakier Friday soundtrack. We did that with Ilan, and we did You Don't Care with Ilan as well.
Yeah,
So, yeah.
we played all of those songs on the first part of
Yeah.
the show, so our audience will be very familiar with them if they're listening to the whole show. Um, so how are you guys going to turn this into like a band that goes out and plays and is a real thing?
Well, I'll let Haley talk about what her thing is, but we do have separation between us. We're like 3 hours away from each other, and
Yeah.
we are still so in our infancy. We don't have that many songs, but we've had, like you said, this launch pad because of the movie and having a song in a movie and having a sort of a dialogue around it and a fun story that we haven't seen each other in so many years, and now we're writing music and enjoying it. That's great. But I personally just want to keep making music, and then, you know, maybe in a few months, like think like, okay, these songs would go really well live, just keep recording.
Yeah.
That's what I want to do. And eventually live when the music's there, and then Haley actually has a really cool idea. Maybe she should share it. Why not?
Go for it,
Yeah.
Haley.
Because Haley,
We're,
Haley,
we're, we're, we're in the process. I say I have
the
a
fun
few
of having
things.
a
I
band
have
with
a few
with two
things
last names is that there's a Hudson and a Rubin. They're two individuals. And sometimes the Hudson can go do other things in the Rubin, but the Hudson and the Rubin will, lobsters, right?
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, so we're in the process of reaching out to people and trying to put a band together. We have some ideas. And yeah, so that's the next step for us is trying to actually go out and actually play live. So yeah.
So
Bummer
you're
go ahead, Gary.
so you say you're 3 hours apart. So
Yeah.
I guess both of you are in California, but
Mhm.
and
Oh yeah, driving we're 3 hours apart.
right, yeah. So
Yeah.
all right, so you're like 3 blocks away in LA, or are you in two different complete cities?
We're in different cities. Yeah.
That's
I'm
that's
on
the best.
Sunset. She's on Hollywood now.
That's the funniest question you've ever asked, Gary. I love that.
Really good, yeah.
How are you guys playing out separately now? Like, do you go out and perform on your own in your own regions, own areas? Is that a thing you
Not
guys are doing?
not yet.
Not
We've
at
only
all.
played together. We've only played together in Pink Slip. But I personally want to film live material, like actually
Mhm.
do it with a little bit of
Yeah.
purpose or something like that. And I, if I could do it, maybe an acoustic guitar show would be fun because something like that would be something easy to do. The thing is, you have to find people to be in a band with, and if you want it to be a good band, you've got to really get along with them. And there's
Hmm.
a lot of stuff that goes into it. And this is a very specific thing. We're not, we just got to find the right people to be in the right band with. So I don't want to rush that out. I want the music to get good, and then eventually, But playing acoustic like that could be done maybe who knows over the summer, maybe a couple of shows or something. Because she's got a good voice to acoustic guitar, and I like to play it. So.
And if I understand correctly, Hayley, you were a musician from a young age, piano, violin, had some cool opportunities at a young age. I've read about that. We talked a little bit about it before you
Oh,
joined us here, playing with Diana Krall, things like that, right? Do I
oh,
have that
yeah.
correct?
Yeah,
Uh,
I would say, yeah, jazz singer. Yeah. Yeah, when I was really young, I was really interested in jazz music. I really loved it. So I got to perform at some really big festivals with some people like Diana Krall. I was 11 years old.
that's so
And
crazy.
then,
Wow.
yeah, it was a really great experience. And then I got into acting as a teenager. So, yeah, I didn't get to do music for a long time until recently. So,
So I have two questions then. One, how did that come about? How did an 11-year-old end up on a festival with, famous musicians? Like, how did that happen?
so there's a jazz festival. I grew up mostly in Eastern Washington and Northern Idaho, and there's a jazz festival there called the Lionel Hampton Jazz Festival, and it was right there, right where we lived. And so it just so happened that there was this massive jazz festival, and these people would come into this little town. And so my mom took me to this jazz festival. And there was like a little, it's called like a little music clinic where musicians do little mini concerts for people, and then you can talk to them. And so my mom took me to the Diana Krall Clinic, and I was a huge fan of hers. And it was so exciting for me. And so after, when people were going up to, get autographs and stuff like that, my mom whispered to me, she goes, "Why don't you ask Diana if you can sing for her?" And so I was young enough that I could, work up the courage to kind of, say that. And I said, "Can I sing you a song?" And so I sang for her, and she said, "Do you want to sing with me tonight at the jazz festival?" And I said, "Sure, why not?"
Wow.
And so I got to sing at this, this huge festival, thousands, tens of thousands of people with on stage with Diana Krall at 11 years old. I got to sing a whole song by myself up there with her and Russell Malone. And yeah, it was really incredible. It just kind of happened. And it was just like I was up there, and yeah, I have a recording of it and everything. And it was, yeah, really once in a lifetime kind of thing.
Go,
So,
mom. That's
yeah.
awesome that she encouraged you to do that, and that you did it. My 11-year
Yeah.
when my daughter was 11, she would have been way too shy for that, even though she can
Oh,
sing like
well,
an
I was
angel.
shy, yeah, but yeah, I just loved jazz music so much. So
So, what happened? How did you go from jazz to what you're playing now? It doesn't sound like jazz at all.
that would be that guy over there in the corner, Mr. Rubin.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
You know
just
what? I right now I'm thinking about being in Eastern Oregon or Washington at a jazz festival. Get me there. Like now,
what?
that would be so fun to be there right now at a jazz festival
Oh
in
yeah.
yeah.
Well, we'll have to go.
I know.
Yeah, I mean, I've always loved just all different types of music. And I've wanted to do music for a long time. I just didn't have anybody really to work with, or feel like I could reach out to anybody. And then Danny and I it just kind of happened. It just kind of happened organically. We just started playing music together, and we just had kind of a vibe with each other, and it just evolved. We just sort of, I don't think we ever set out to have any particular sound or anything like that. I think it was just sort of whatever we felt like doing at the time. So yeah, we just kind of, we are what we are. So
Still trying to discover what that is, which is a really fun thing
yeah.
because it would be nice to have cohesion, nice to have an identity, but we're still just finding that, and that's
Yeah,
it's okay,
for sure.
Well,
Uh,
it's actually sounding fairly cohesive right now. I
yeah.
mean,
Um,
yes, you are exploring different avenues, but within a singular sound. Did you have another question, man? Because I was getting ready
I
to.
did. I had two more. I had one more, but then another one popped up.
Oh.
And so let me go back to the one I was sort of leading to, which was for you, Haley. Do you, with the music background, with the acting background, do you think of yourself as an actor or as a musician? Obviously, you're both, and there's no reason you can't be both. But I'm thinking of like, bilingual people. Do they think in Spanish or English? Do you think of as a musician or do you think as an actor? And how do you approach these projects?
I think at this point in my life, I feel more like a musician. But for most of my adult life, I think I felt more like an actress. But I always just kind of felt like I had that kind of, it was always there. Like I always felt like I was a musician. I just wasn't performing and recording and writing music, maybe. So it was like always kind of both things were always kind of there. So, I'd like to do some more acting at some point, I think, in my life. But I think right now, I just feel like music is really where I'm meant to be at the moment. So I'd say like both of those things. Just, at different times, the focus is maybe more on one than the other. Yeah.
And Danny, you've, I assume, have always been more of a full-time musician, and
Um,
Mm.
not really full time, but yeah, I've had spurts where I've been out with my brother's band, the New Regime, for a couple of years. But I'm actually a history teacher down here in
oh,
San
no
Diego.
kidding.
Yeah, I teach high school kids. They know all about
Oh wow.
some music stuff. I don't talk a lot about it because kids today are very not interested in what the old people used to do. But every now and then, one of them will ask, and there'll be the occasional like Nin fan,
Mhm.
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
like, oh my,
Yeah.
Wait, do you call it Nin? We used to make fun of my friend who saw my CD. He's like, "What's this band Nin?" We're like, "Nin, well, you're an idiot. It's
I,
Nine Inch Nails."
you know what? I don't know. I think people call it that. Yeah, I hear it a lot, and I don't. I've heard the AI calls it NIN,
Right. Yeah, she
but
said
yeah,
Nin.
Nin, Nine Inch Nails, just whatever. They're both great.
I'm going to turn it over to you in just a second, Gary.
Another
So
one band, by the way. Yeah.
my last question comes from, and I think we now have the answer, hearing more about your origin stories. You know, knowing that you guys are California based, we're nowhere near California. We're on the East Coast,
Where are
uh,
you?
Charlottesville, Virginia.
Cool.
Oh,
You ever heard of it?
Absolutely.
yeah.
In a good way.
Yeah.
I think so, but yeah, it does have history, and that's very interesting history.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, a lot of interesting history around here for sure. Um, well, you two both have last names that could easily be thought of. I wonder if they're, you know, related to any of these other famous people with similar last names or the same last names. But it's become clear to me that that's not it at all. Like you don't have the advantage of like Rick Rubin's my dad, or is like, I Googled that to make sure first, right? And there's plenty of famous Hudsons, but I don't think you're connected to any of those, right?
Oh,
So my question is, has the names caused any problems or given you any accidental goodness? Like, has anything happened at all as a result of your names?
Haley, well, you'd know better, right? You run
my name?
all the
The
social
name
media
Hudson?
stuff, right?
Are
Kate,
you talking
Kate,
about like Kate Hudson
Kate
or?
Hudson, Rock Hudson. There's
Oh,
been some
Rock
famous
Hudson.
Hudsons.
no, I mean, it's such a common name. I don't think I think only one time somebody's asked me, they said, "Oh, are you related to Kate Hudson?" And I said, "No, I'm not." No. But how about you, Danny?
I suppose that I could, write a script and submit it as Danny Rubin, and they would go on IMDb and find that Danny Rubin once wrote a movie called Groundhog Day, which is
Oh,
not me. It's not me, but maybe they'd
Wasn't
be like,
you?
"Oh my God, the writer of Groundhog
Or
Day, he's back. Here's his
for
new
sure.
brilliant script."
He's
Yeah,
back, and he looks as young as he
yeah.
was back in 1986.
he looks
What
exactly
you,
the same.
yeah, no, the names, it's just, none of that.
No,
What's up?
no happy accidents. I think that's what I was fishing for, thinking that it could have
Yeah,
happened.
none.
Yeah.
None whatsoever that I can think of. I mean, except for Freaky Friday, that's a really happy accident, right? It wasn't so I didn't think it would ever happen. I had wondered where she was for years, and where everyone was actually. Like, what's everyone up to? And suddenly we're here doing this. So, yeah.
Yeah. What's it?
So I take it y'all didn't stay in contact after the first one at all. Did
No,
you
it's
go
No,
actually
meet or
funny.
anything?
we were kids. I mean, we just went our own. You were how old of a? How old were you in the first
Yeah.
one?
The last time I saw you, I was 17 at the premiere of the first
Yeah.
movie. But the funny thing is, when I saw Danny for the first time 22 years later, I didn't recognize him. I didn't know it was you.
Yeah, I
Remember
had to be
that?
like Danny
Yeah.
Pink Slip, bass player. Hello.
So he said, I'm Danny. And I said, hi, I'm Hayley. Nice to meet you. And said, I'm Danny, the bass player. And then of
I said
course,
Haley. I said Haley because I knew.
well,
I was like Haley. She goes, yeah, and she was like sitting down. She never sits on chairs. She sits on the floor with her guitar, and people have a hard time getting the guitar away from her on set.
yeah.
It's funny. It's really funny.
Well,
You
but
barely,
you look
always with
different.
your guitar on the floor as you were in the first one. You're the same way. And I go, Haley. And she had no idea who I was at first. It
Well,
was
you
really,
look a
really,
lot, you looked different.
yeah,
And
well,
then,
we're both different. Yeah, we're 43 and 39 right now, I want to say. Or actually, I'm 42 and you're 39, right?
okay, sure.
Yeah.
You were.
Yeah.
You were. I already. Our audience knows. I already
I'm
revealed.
proud. I'm proud to say whatever the age is,
Me too.
right? Yeah, you wear that.
Absolutely.
All these influencers at 18, they know what they're talking about, right?
Oh,
You know?
absolutely. I
Yeah, they know
followed them
know
all.
everything. They've lived already as long as we have, so just do what they do.
Exactly. We'll just
Go on their
learn
diet.
from
On their
them.
diet. Yeah.
Gary, I think it's time for you to ask a question.
Okay, well, speaking of age, because all that came out, so I'm going to mention 3 different bands.
Okay.
I want to see if you've ever even heard of them.
Oh no.
Okay. And don't feel bad if you haven't. Holly and the Italians.
I have not.
I don't think I have.
The Waitresses.
I don't think
I have
so.
nope.
Glassoline.
Glassoline sounds pretty cool, but no, I haven't seen them.
Glassoline?
Glassoline.
That's a cool name,
It
but
is
I
a cool
don't think
name.
I don't think I've heard of them.
Okay,
Holly
so
and the
those,
Italians are cool too.
yeah. So those were 3 of my favorite bands from the mid 80s to the early 90s. I pretty much, if you being your age, I I had a great feeling that you would have no clue because these were not big bag. Glassoline has nothing online. There is absolutely zero digital footprint for them
Mm.
except one Lilith Fair show that they did back in the Lilith Fair days. But you guys somehow channel those three acts, those 3 bands in your music. You should definitely look up the Waitresses and Holland the Italians. More of the Holland the Italians than the Waitresses, but those you will hopefully you'll see what I've been listening to for the last hour, because that was one of the things I told JR. It's like, oh man, because I always try to look at what your influences are and everything, and I'm like, I bet these guys have never even heard of these bands, but somehow you are channeling them into
Hmm.
2026, 40 years later.
Interesting,
And
like a music doppelganger or something.
yeah,
Okay.
it is awesome to think that. And then
It's happened before on this show where Gary has done this experiment,
Oh.
and the artist came back and goes, "Yeah, they're a huge influence on me,
yeah.
and I've never heard of them. Nobody's ever heard of this band except for Gary,
Mhm.
apparently,
Were
and
these
whoever we
popular
were
bands?
interviewing."
Were like way popular bands in the 80s, or were they underground, like in clubs, or even?
They were college radio, we'll say,
Oh, okay,
because
yeah.
that was before the alt radio thing happened. It was all college radio. That's where REM started, and then once they went up, and then they got into mainstream radio. None of these bands ever made what would be termed as mainstream radio. Holland the Italians was the closest they had to college hits, if I remember correctly. But and then the Waitresses has my favorite Christmas song ever, which is called Christmas Wrapping. which is just phenomenal, and it's one of the saddest Christmas songs ever, with a happy ending.
That's a song you may have actually heard.
Yeah, that one you've heard that in a Kroger someplace. Do y'all have Krogers out there?
Grocery store.
Wegmans,
Yeah,
the grocery
the brand is
Wegmans.
in the markets, Kroger
Yeah,
brand, but I don't
yeah,
think we have a Kroger proper. Yeah.
yeah. But in a grocery store, you've heard it in a grocery store during Christmas season at
Okay.
some point or another. Um, but then you did Taime, Ta- Taime,
Oh,
Okay.
Tame.
Tame.
Yes.
Okay. And I was like, okay, so this one, and you guys will know these, I hope. It's Tori Amos meets Paramore.
oh, yeah, that would be very. I could see that.
Yeah.
Tori,
So
what
that,
a compliment to Tori could get compared to her. She's very in a
oh
very.
my God, yes.
Yeah.
But your vocal stylings are have transfer, because the waitresses in Holly and the Italians are not that similar, but you guys like pick pieces of each and put them together in the most fascinating ways, and that's
Oh.
that's what I pulled out of. Like I said, I've only known you guys for an hour,
Oh,
so but he's got me revved up. He gets me revved up every show, so that I start digging like immediately to find stuff to quiz you all with, and to to see what where you're coming from
yeah.
musically. So what who would you say your real influences are? Where are you bringing I mean, obviously you, Hayley, are coming from a jazz background.
Mhm.
You Danny, are you've been playing in more harder rock outfits that take it, or
Yeah, yeah, rock alternative, and even like some indie stuff locally, and
mm-hmm,
yeah. So, but honestly, with her, I try to write something that with her voice in it. So
mm-hmm,
that's really it. Like I'm like, what kind of chords would go together for her? And whether it's a pretty guitar sound or something like Tame, where it's a little more just whatever it is with the
mm-hmm.
octave pedal and fuzzy. I whatever I think she'll sound good on. Like if I could hear her voice to it, is what I want to play, what I try to play. So I write with her voice in my head. And as far as the influences, I mean, it's almost tough to say them because I'm not as good as any of them. So
Yeah.
but I love. It's like we all like Led Zeppelin, but I'm not Page, and I you
Yeah,
know.
I feel like, but
But
we
so it's
have
like
like,
what I love to listen to. I don't know if it channels itself so like representatively in music. It's I write with her voice in my head. That's all I really know,
oh,
and then just try to do the best thing I could with what we have, and what we come together and
yeah, but
I,
I'd say like we have like, there's a little bit of like the Cranberries in there, some Florence and the
A
Machine,
little bit of
a
that,
little
yeah. Hmm.
Radiohead, some Massive Attack, you know, stuff like that. Yeah.
Cranberries was the first one that came to my mind.
yeah, that's the
Yeah.
one I would.
Oh,
That's the only one I would even claim.
okay.
But apparently Haley has all these other bands. I would definitely stick with the Cranberries one in my opinion, and then Haley, she could talk about the other ones because I don't know if I agree with that, but
How many more new songs do you guys have like in the hopper that you're working on? Like, do we have a full album coming out, a double album? Like, what's the catalog going to look like in the next year?
we're working on like 4 songs right now, I think. Right.
Mhm.
So two of them are almost, I think, kind of done, and they sound. Haley's like, let's experiment with it more. So everything we've done up until now might just get reworked, and
Yeah.
then she
And
wrote.
one of our songs, we might have a special guest singer on. We're not going to tell you who it is, but
Oh,
we might have a pretty cool collaborator on one of them.
I have no
So,
idea who she's talking about either, so
yes,
don't worry
you know who I'm talking about,
about
but
it.
we're not going to say who it is.
Well, you'll have to come back on and let
Yeah.
us know.
yeah,
She'll have to
But
let me
yeah.
know.
we'll be paying attention. So when your new song comes out,
Oh,
we'll be following your socials. So when you do announce it, we'll make mention of it on our next episode for
oh,
sure. Because we do like to keep up with what the bands we feature do after we feature them.
oh.
because we do like to follow them. And if you did want to get back in touch and share any new news, drop any new songs as a world exclusive on our show. If you just wanted to do that, that would be great. We wouldn't mind.
Oh,
If I were just in Charlottesville and you wanted to grab a beer sometime or something,
Oh,
Absolutely.
absolutely.
that would be doable.
You dang, Skippy.
Okay, all right.
We'll have some beers. We'll book a show. We know the venues here.
That would
Yeah.
be that's fun.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, we've like I said at the outset, we've been concocting our fantasy shows. So yeah, we would love at some point we're going to do it. That's where I came from, producing shows for way too long.
How tapped into the San Diego music scene are you, Danny?
I'm trying to tap myself more in. I'm trying to talk myself out to going to more shows because I don't want to just sit on a couch all the time. So, but I'm tapped into it enough to know that there's a lot of great legacy acts that have been here forever that are still playing really powerfully. One of my favorite metal bands is from here that's still doing great. Cattle Decapitation. They're awesome.
Oh, cattle
Um,
decapitation?
yeah, and supposedly they're half vegans, and then some might eat meat. Right, that's what it is, and it's a whole
Uh,
eco-tourism.
I'm going to write this down. Should I feature them on a future episode of this show?
I don't know. They're not. They've been heard of. They're pretty
Okay.
big, but yeah, they're
In
awesome.
the vegan death metal scene, they're
Yes.
the hugest.
I honestly think they do it best. I would say, and honestly, for a lot of metal bands, you can say, I love their first album the most, but I like their last two the most. The recent ones.
so-
Anyways, but the San Diego scene, what I do know about it is that there's a lot of different sounds. There's a band called Schizophonics that's been here for a while. That guy plays incredible guitar. I just remember seeing them randomly one time, and then I'm pleased to know that they're touring still and doing great things. And there's a lot of venues here, a lot of different music, so it's still going very, very strong.
Have you heard of a San Diego band, young guys, called The Reckless?
I think I have.
Yeah, we
I think
featured
I
them
have
on
it.
the show.
Yeah, I've
Uh,
definitely heard of the Pretty Reckless and the Reckless. Glad to know.
Well, these guys are pretty and they're reckless, but they're just called The
They're
Reckless.
But they're not pretty reckless.
What kind of music are they?
Pretty hard rock, pop rock, but still
Okay.
on the harder side.
All right, very cool.
Yeah, their people reached out to us and we featured them, and they led us to another band out of LA, an all-female band called the Anti-Groupies. And so there's definitely some bands in your neck of the woods. I was thinking, I mean, you could have been their history teacher for all I know.
Yeah,
You know what? I've been at a bar at a show with my beer outside, and I ran into somebody and they go, "Oh my God, we just graduated from there 4 years ago. You're a teacher." It's Sunday night before I've got to be at work, but I will. There's a great bar where I live called the Whistle Stop. It's like literally 150 yards from me, and they have music 3 nights out of the week. So on a Sunday night, if I'm feeling, bored or lonely, I literally just go there on chance that they have bands playing. And sometimes it's been some of the best nights at that bar, and yeah,
But
I'll run into people that have been like students at at the school I teach, but maybe not my student. Yeah.
so Danny does history teaching when he's not doing the music thing with you. Hayley, what are you doing when you're not doing music, if anything?
I do in-home pet sitting and dog walking,
Awesome.
which I actually played a character in a movie called Marley and Me,
I
who
heard
was
of
a
that.
pet sitter and a dog walker. And then I became a real
Pet
pet
sitter
sitter
and
and
dog
dog
walker.
walker.
What,
I
did you-
really want to watch that movie now, and I want to watch the Pact that you.
Marley and Me is pretty sad.
It's sad. Is the Pact?
It's
Pact is scary, right? But not sad.
Pact is a horror movie.
Yeah, I want to see that.
If you like horror movies,
I like them, but
pretty scary.
yeah.
Okay. Well,
Marley, that's the one with Owen Wilson, and is he the male lead with Jennifer Aniston?
yeah, so I was their pet sitter in that movie, and then I became a
Pretty
real
cool.
pet
And,
sitter.
and did you become a real life pet sitter and dog walker because of your research into the role, or how did that come
No.
about?
I've been doing that since I was a very young kid.
Okay.
It was just something I was always kind of, drawn to, I guess, wanted to play with the dogs and take care of the cats. And so people always asked me to watch their kids and watch their pets. And so I figured, well, I might as well get paid.
Mm.
Yeah.
Right? So, yeah, but I enjoy, yeah, being around animals for sure. So, yeah.
Fantastic. Well,
Mhm.
thank you guys so much for taking time out of your uh, dog walking, history
Mm.
History
teaching,
teaching.
and music creation to talk to us. I hope we can be a little part of your origin story. And once you are touring and playing and putting out albums, we would love to hear back from you. We will continue to get the word out. This episode will come out in probably about a month, and so we'll tag you on all the socials and stuff like that. But we were honored that your folks
Oh,
people reached out to us, and super happy that you could join us and talk music with us. This has been a lot
oh,
of
yeah,
fun.
thank you.
I think it's really great that you guys go against the grain and are trying to do something different. And I wish you guys the best too. And
Thanks, man. Was there anything that we missed that you feel is a gaping hole in the discourse here
not at all.
that you
I
would
mean, not,
like
yeah,
to get out? Because we try to keep it, music and
sure.
try to get without going too wonky. Uh,
Hmm.
but a lot of times we've had a couple of folks who go, yeah, actually I wanted to talk about this or that.
Well, the one thing
But
I just want to make one comment, if that's okay, because
yeah, absolutely.
you said the music's kind of cohesive. So do you like it when bands change up their sound, or
Ooh,
do you like when they stay with what they've got? Now I don't really agree that we're that cohesive, but if you do, would you like to hear more of what you've been hearing, or would you like completely different sounding songs? Because I always wonder when a
that's a
band
great.
there's some
We definitely have thoughts on this.
Yeah,
yeah,
go
because I've
ahead.
been seeing what people are writing about, like the new Foo Fighters stuff that my brother just played on, and I go because I have to read because I'm just very curious, and the division in a band that's got an identity,
Mm.
it's insane. It's very polarizing almost, and it's just people on YouTube commenting. But it always surprises me when you can't make everyone happy, but
I,
the music's
I'll,
still kind of
I
I'll
know
tell
cool,
it's
you.
amazing, isn't it?
right? The music's good, but for some reason, half the people are just really angry about it, and you don't know why. You're like, oh, it's the same people, so
I'll tell
they
you what
don't like
resonates with me when an
it.
artist is making the music that is the truest version of their music possible, right? When it's not influenced by corporations and music execs and all of that. When an artist is just free to make their music, and even if it is different on every album, I do not care. I want to hear that artist's vision. So an example for me would be Sturgill Simpson, who does not give a rat's ass what the execs say. He's going to put out the music he wants to put out. And every album, there's half the fans are like, "What the hell is this?" And I'm like, "This is what he's doing now, and I'm here for it." And so I personally love it when a musician is being true to themselves, and that takes them in all different directions. I am here for that because if I'm a fan of that musician, then I'm there. So, but we've definitely had discussions on this show about how that can make it tougher for that band to develop an identity and a following and stuff. And I think that's where Gary wants to comment.
Right. Yeah. There's, some bands who are almost schizophrenic or, like they have multiple personalities. And, sometimes it's writing by committee and, or not writing by committee, but having four people in the band write separate songs and then they play them and every song is different to the point of they're going into different genres and stuff. And although each song in and of itself is great, but you throw that on an album, and by the end of the album, it was like, well, who was that? I mean,
Yeah, no, I
I,
get that.
yeah,
I
I mean, like,
see it.
how do I get through a set? If I go to watch these guys, I didn't like those. If they're playing this as a set, what do I just leave for those songs and hopefully get back in time for the other good ones? But you guys are because of the way you write and everything. That's why I said it's already kind of cohesive, even though you haven't been slogging at this for years and years and years. You are babies in the
Like we could
band.
tell that the harder stuff is coming from the same people. I mean, Haley's voice
Yeah,
locks it all together.
Yeah.
And then Gary, I don't think he heard it, but in between, after we finished the first half and while we were waiting for you guys, I played,
that's when you played the acoustic song
yeah,
or
the
the
acoustic song.
yeah.
Why am I, can't think of it now.
It's called Hideaway. Yep.
Hideaway.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. That's the
Yeah.
song that's the bridge from part one to part two of this show.
Yeah.
And it is, rock bands have ballads, right? It's just a ballad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Haley's voice is right there in the middle of it. And so it's obviously the songs we've heard are obviously the same band, and you have a sound,
Right.
and there is a cohesion there that I think will, if it appeals to you, all of it will appeal to you.
Yeah, and then there's the opposite end of that spectrum, which is uh, you take one song and you repeat it 72 times over the next 10 years of your career, which sucks. Even that's the worst possible thing. It'd be rather you do something that will at least morph it a little bit. But the way your voice can morph, Haley, between the songs, between the harder and the softer songs and stuff, but it's still you. That is, I mean, you guys could actually even go further out if you want. I'm not saying, hey, go out and get, Art of Noise and shit, but go, have at, because as long as you're writing the way you do, and it's always the collaboration that it is, and regardless of who's mixing or who's producing or whatever, you're going to have this cohesion there of the actual song structure and the songwriting that will give you enough to that will keep that hold that whole thing together. I mean, if you listen back to one of my favorite 70s band, Queen, they
Yeah.
were they did every style, including opera, yet it all fit together. They would
You
do a little
always knew you
country.
were listening to a Queen song.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
and it made total sense going from a country lilt into an opera. And why, I don't know, but it did. And you guys can go from a straight up, rock and pop song to something that's a little more offbeat and avant-garde, and it doesn't miss a lick. So that's why I'm, just keep on that side of things.
Did you
Don't
ask
think
that
that.
because you're experimenting with some new sounds?
I just yeah, I was curious because a lot of people do not naturally go, I'm gonna find bands that no one listens to and listen to them and want to talk to them. That's the
Mm,
opposite of what people do.
And
yeah,
So
if you go,
the feedback's really interesting to me because like this one guy said on one of our songs, we don't have comments, like a lot of comments on our videos, but he goes like, this song's pretty good. It needs a bridge, and most people would take that as an insult. And now just go, okay, the kid thinks the song needs a bridge. Maybe I'll think about a bridge next time. I don't know.
yeah,
Mhm.
But I just like to see what people think in general because you don't talk to people as much anymore. So I
right.
wanted to
But
see.
I mean, that's a great critical comment. I mean, that's somebody who knows what a bridge is,
Yeah, sure.
obviously, and it's like, because some songs don't really need a bridge, and
You
other songs absolutely need a bridge,
know
and
what's
then
funny? The
there's the
song
ones
had a bridge.
uh,
He just obviously didn't think it was a bridge. But so
oh.
so maybe my bridge working skills need whatever. But yeah, it's I like it's feedback. What
Well,
else?
you could respond to him with a using a thing going, right here's the bridge.
Where's that confounded bridge? Or, yeah.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, maybe I just it's an interesting comment. It wasn't made to throw shade or
No, no. Like I said, it was a
funny. Yeah,
constructive comment. Other
Yeah.
than the fact that he wasn't able to pick out what your bridge
didn't
was.
know
yeah,
what a
yeah.
bridge was.
Yeah, I know. Well, you know what? I didn't know what the bridge was in that. She just did a great job of singing over the music, and then my brother helped me organize it. And it's funny because on that song, "You Don't Care," the very first one, uh,
Hmm.
he edited a minute out of it. I had a guitar solo, and he's like, "That sucks," taking it out. And he's like,
Oh,
it
gee,
didn't go.
thanks,
And then when
brother.
I heard the way that he put it back together, I was like, this is perfect. Like, yeah, and the bridge was there, but apparently this one, anyways. Um, so yeah, it was. we got coached up on that one a bit, and somebody else walked in and helped us. But since the our fourth song or so, we haven't really had any help. It's been all us, recording it, mixing it, writing it.
Yeah, a common theme with the bands we featured on this show, and you guys are 100% on with this. We have encountered no egos, and being willing to take that kind of feedback and actually see it as a note and think about it and maybe act on it or think about it in your next song and not take it as like, oh, what the fuck, it's so nice. That's the type of musicians we've encountered on this show, and so it's a pleasure to talk to people like you guys.
There's a time and a place, I think, for everyone's allowed to take a question in a certain mood and stuff, but the tone is everything, right? And we're having a good conversation about music and whatever. And so I asked you guys just what you would like, and it was a cool little side convo, right?
That was great, man. That's the first time anyone's asked us a actual question like that. So
because I always wonder, like, Lemmy said you're influenced most by the music you were into when you were 20 years old, and I see a lot of bands that have been fans of like bands like Nins and Radioheads, and they will just find any reason to either prop up the music or slam it. And sing it from a whole like lifespan of being like in my 20s and now my 40s. I go, it's the same band doing a pretty good album. They're going to be out on the road. Like, why would people slam music? Do they change so much that you don't like it, or do they wish that it was exactly? Then they would get SHIT for being exactly like their first album, and nobody would be happy anyway. So, anyways, I just felt like I would ask that.
It's nice. It's nice to not be so judgmental and like play the music you want to play, and either people are like it or they don't. And that's the way
that's going to happen no matter what. No matter what you do, you can change up everything. You can play exactly the same song 70 different ways, and there's going to be people that don't like it, and there's going to be people that love it, and you go with the people that love it, and maybe one day you'll win over one of the people that don't like it. Who knows? Who cares? But it doesn't matter.
I don't know. As I get older, I just stop judging it so much. I just kind of take it as it is.
That's what intelligent people do.
But when you're young, you just take it as like it's not not part of the ethos, or not part of the or not part of the whatever. And it's nice that's gone, and you just take music as it is. And
well, awesome.
Thank you. This has been amazing, and blows away all expectations as usual. So, Hayley, thank you so much. Danny, thank you both.
Thanks a lot.
And I was just saying, we'll be keeping an eye on you. Thank you so much again.
Okay, great. Thanks a lot.
Thank you all so much.
Bye.
Bye, guys.
We'll see you at the Grammys one day.
Oh, all right.
Well, that episode was awesome, and it's always every episode of Bands You've Never Heard Of, a production of Ranch Hand Records. That's right, ranchhandrecords.com.
Bino, as we like to call it, or Bands You've Never Heard Of, is our brainchild. It's hosted by Gary Hawthorne and me, J.R. Stoffel.
Bino is written by J.R., produced and edited, and reacted to in real time by me.
Oh, I thought you were going to say your name.
Oh, Gary.
There you go. And as you may have noticed, we played a bunch of songs at the first part of this show, and all those songs come from the band Hudson Rubin, and we did indeed get their permission to play those songs.
This is going to be hard, so definitely look in the notes or go to binopod.com, because their website is bio.site, bio.site/Hudson Rubin, HUDSONRUBIN. Go to the links, because it's not like a tobefair.com, which was simple and easy.
Yeah, so links will be in the show notes on wherever you're watching this, and of course on our website. And also on our website is a link to the Spotify playlist I've been putting together over the last year doing this show, featuring every song from every band we've ever featured on this show. So if you want a playlist that is incredibly long, full of amazing music that you've never heard before, check out the official Bands You've Never Heard Of Spotify playlist.
So I got a question for you on that because we had a little bit of issue on Saturday getting to the playlist
Yeah.
on Brian. Is that just because his was a free Spotify account? Or-
Maybe we searched for bands you've never heard of on his Spotify, and it brought up the podcast, which is good.
Right.
That's the most important thing.
Exactly.
But when I search, because I've been dealing with it, I get both.
Yeah.
Right. So he's new to both the podcast and the playlist, and we had to dig for the playlist. So if you go to the podcast page on your Spotify app and go to More Like This, then there's a link there to the playlist. So it's in it's a playlist that is linked to this show within Spotify, but just go to freaking vinehopod.com and there's a link to everything you need there.
On every page.
Good.
So, but if you're not watching us, if you're just listening, you would not have been able to actually see Hayley and Danny talking to us. Lovely, lovely human beings and real star power. Go to youtube.com/@binehopod and check it out in beautiful, beautiful widescreen color.
And get in touch with us. Binehopod@gmail.com is just one of the ways you can do that. Send me an email if you've got a band you want us to feature on the show. That's the place to do it. That's one of the ways to do it. You got another way to do it, though.
Well, no, but that's how Jennifer got in touch with you about Hudson Rubin, right? Or did
Correct.
they come through the website?
I've actually gotten emails at my other email address. I got them from the website. I'm getting them from different places. So,
Wow.
yeah.
Do you know all of that, plus merch, and plus you can actually just support us directly and help us keep this on your favorite podcast channel at binehopod.com. That's BYNHOPOD.com. And it gets updated every week or so with new stuff.
All right, Gary. That's another one in the books.
Another one in the books, and this one was fantastic, as they all are. But each one has a different little flair. This one we came in on time for once.
Yep.
Because they hadn't been together for 10 years, and with 15 other ex members and people coming and going and all this other stuff. It was very concise, beautiful, wonderful people making amazing music that you need to listen to. So for JR, this is Gary, and I would like to say have a great week.
And for Gary, I'm JR. Thank you so much for listening. Peace out, everybody.
Bye-bye.
All right, that's done. What's next?